Because if you look at this here, if you're in Spectra's position here, you die. But just 10 meters of distance here is the difference between you being able to like actually hit a couple of shots, being able to relax and hit the sleep dart, not having to worry about Kitsune, and even when the Doomfist comes to follow up, he can't even reach you. So it feels like I said, this distance management that our Platinum Ana was missing is really the difference between winning and losing this fight in many ways. All right, what's up? So for those of you guys who've been living under a rock here, do you want to kind of give yourself a quick introduction of who you are, what you've done, because you've been around for quite a long time.
I'm Ultraviolet. I've been playing competitively since like 2019, I think. Like when I first joined a tier 2 team. I played on Toronto Defiant, Atlanta Reign, and Team USA. It's like the tier 1 teams since then.
Been considered the best flex support, if I do say so, in the West for years, quite a long time. And frankly, you know, as much as I know last season sucked for you guys in many ways, you know, I think that it was a great example of me to where, you know, a team can struggle, but a player can still do their job. And I think that I think you played really well last season, frankly. I think even in the first half of the season where you guys were struggling, I think a lot of people were throwing the team as a whole under the bus. And yet it was pretty obvious to me from looking from overheads that you were still one of the best flex supports in the league, frankly. So, you know, I've always been a big fan. I appreciate the work that you do. So maybe there's a little bit of bias there, but regardless, you've been around for a long time and considered one of the greatest in competitive Overwatch for a long, long time, and inflexible too. And now, what's the plan here? I assume that still toying with what professional Overwatch has for you and maybe doing some content on the side?
Yeah, trying to get back into more content soon and maybe get better at coaching and also just like doing collegiate and whatever tournaments come up.
Right. I forget, what team are you guys with now? Like I should know this.
Winthrop?
Yeah, that's right. Winthrop. It's the new big kid on the block, right? I forget, who do you guys have?
It's me, RuPaul, Liar, Sam, McCree,
that's disgusting.
and Kalush.
That's pretty stacked. Oh, dear. That is unfortunately stacked. Well, good luck with all that. Hope that goes well. I have a Platinum review. This is submitted. A bunch of folks submitted, so big shout out to all you folks that submitted. I really appreciate that. But the reason I picked this VOD in particular was because I think it did a good job of kind of what your codes do in terms of it showed a little bit of a wide spectrum. You know, it's Midtown has a lot of different high grounds and long sight lines and short sight lines. And, you know, they're obviously going to be on their hog now, but they actually swapped to Winston and then they swapped to, I think, Orisa or Zarya. So there's a lot of variety of compositions to play into. And I think it's important for Ana to know how to play versus this matchup. So for you with Ana, if you were to choose like a couple of priorities for any Ana player to be thinking about, regardless of comp, regardless of map, what would those priorities be?
Staying alive with your support, and staying alive is important.
Sure.
And getting a lot of value out of your cooldowns. Ana is a very cooldown-based hero.
Okay. How do you stay alive? What are the steps that, I'm sure there's a lot of steps here, but what are the big steps for that?
It's about like positioning and awareness. It's like a combination of both. Going against like heroes like Hog, Hanzo, and Junk, like you really want to be aware of where they are because there's like a lot of one-shots coming from there. So like keeping your distance from Hog, like using cover, like not getting close to Junk, like it's like things you want to think about.
Okay. And then in terms of cooldowns, you said cooldown reliant hero. I think anybody that's played this game even for any period of time knows that. But obviously knowing that and actually getting value out of those cooldowns are two different things. So any tips for what to be looking for or how to be executing those cooldowns with greater success?
I think it depends a lot on like I think it's like easily like one of the hardest things about our kid. Like even like in Overwatch League, like they're like good Anas and bad Anas, like just because like how and like when they use their cooldowns. But for example, I guess this comp they're playing it's Hog, Hanzo, Junk, like on a Kiriko, and it seems kind of like on a like dive type thing. Yeah. So I think his sleep, like you can use it on the Hog, like just because like it's an easy target. Like you can maybe force Suzu, your team can focus him. But also like it's like you can use it as like a survival tool or like as a tool to like get your team kills.
Sure. So it's basically kind of about reading the composition or even just reading the situation to know, you know, can I be selfish with this? Do I need to be more interested in the interests of self-preservation with the cooldown, depending on the comp, depending on the situation?
Yeah, it's like in like Monkey Tracer Sombra, where like you're saving your sleep for yourself for the monkey, but like if you can lay on the sleep on the Tracer, the Sombra, and get the kill, like 100% worth it.
Right. So it's all about like that risk versus reward. Like, is it I could get the easy sleep, which might not get a kill, or I could get the sleep that might get a kill. I have to kind of choose which one makes sense in the moment.
Or something more risky or whatever. Against like this comp, for example, you're against Hog, Hanzo, Junkrat. They like have zero like range pressure. You know, like their only range pressure is like Hanzo, which like sure you can one shot you from across the map, but it's like not as scary as like a Widow or a Sojourn, in my opinion.
Sure.
Like you can see them charging up your shot. You can like
Mhm.
move and
Mhm.
like, jump at the right time and all of that.
Sure.
But
So what do you do with
so
that though?
I don't like how like first fight he's like playing this angle like super close, especially against like the Hog Junkrat Hanzo.
Right.
But, like I think like it'd be way better like even if he like were going up the top window.
Sure. So you're saying like maybe even like it's not even a window that we ever see really used, especially in lower ranks, but like seeing kind of where our Ash is. Can you see my mouse?
Yeah, I'm talking
Okay.
about where that just
Yeah. So you're saying
there.
like this Junkrat, it's Hog, it's all this nasty stuff. Yeah, Hans is a tricky one, but like maybe going out and making a play at top window just because it's better for your range versus this comp. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, it's just like less risky.
Yeah, makes sense. Okay. Yeah. Now, what do you obviously our Roadhog here jumps over the sleep, which is not something that you see every day. What do you think of the Nano though?
Let me see it again. I think he could have waited longer.
Why would you wait?
See like if the Zarya is gonna like keep going in, like I think Nano like
Okay.
especially because like the healing, like you can use it as like a bait. So like if you're like
Mhm.
talking your Zarya, like keep pushing. Like your Zarya gets like to 1 HP and like they all focus her and she gets Nano, she just kills everyone.
The worst type of Nano is the Nano, maybe not quite like this, but one where like you Nano something and they just stand there and they go, I can't reach anything.
Yeah.
Feels like that's like worst case scenario. Okay. Makes sense. Now, I guess one other tiny little detail, just because I know somebody is going to ask me. Do you have the confirm Nano setting turned on?
No.
Why or why not?
Like,
Or is there
I've,
no
tried
particular
it a
reason?
little bit, but
Yeah.
I think just like more tinkering out of like nano sensitivity is like better than like changing the setting.
Okay. I agree, but I wanted to hear it straight from your mouth. Okay. A little scary with the nade there, but I respect it. And it seems like we're
like,
aware of the Hog as well.
Hog, yeah.
Yeah, like we're moving away from the Hog. Okay. Well, we made some plays. We hit a nade, got a nice Nano, hit some shots. Obviously missed the sleep, but you can't expect Roadhog to hurdle every sleep. Maybe we get his
The thing is too, like if you're keeping a range from Hog, like you can like sleep him as he goes for the hook on like one of your teammates, and like just possible to miss.
True.
And it also like saves your team at the same time.
That's true. Ooh, I see a nade that we used here. Nice.
Good nade.
Yeah.
And sleep.
Oh, we definitely, I was going to say, definitely got to go for the sleep dart here. That seems like a big missed opportunity.
Especially if like Ana and Kirika, like good to use one cooldown, get the Suzu out, and then use the other.
True, right? Nade forces Suzu. He almost dies. Sleep dart, he's definitely dead here. Now, this is another opportunity here because I don't think she's got Suzu yet. I think she's got 3 or 4 seconds left. Oh, no. Oh, no. Where would you have put this nade, excuse me? Because obviously it's like you could put it anywhere, right? So where would be the best spot to put it?
On the ceiling, the wall, like above the Hog.
Just for more splash targets?
Zarya. Yeah. And you don't hit your Zarya.
Right, of course. I feel like the number of times that high level Anas, hit their own teammates is really doesn't happen very often. It's like it's easy to blame your teammates, but sometimes it's just about how you position yourself or how you place the nade. You can choose to miss people. Oh, looks like we actually hit a nade here. Let's see it. Oh, close. Nice. But it really feels like kind of what you were saying earlier, minus the Hanzo. Whenever we're able to get out of the dirt with the Hog and the Junkrat, everything feels so much easier. It's so much less stressful.
Like there really isn't like much threat from their comp into him. He like positions well.
Right. And then you can kind of see it here. We start to walk forward a little bit to land an anti-nade, but we didn't necessarily need to walk forward to land an anti-nade. We could have just walked to a different sight line. So here, post Riptire, maybe even just walking to cart. Would you ever even consider going top?
Even
or
like
is this
here,
too
like
exposed?
I'd just be like going wider around the corner, like trying to like pick some pot shots top.
True. Right? but not walking forward, right, into the tire,
like,
right?
Kind of like behind the car, just like looking for some
right.
top.
Appreciate the proactivity with the nade though, trying to land some shots. And this is where I think what you said earlier is like this Nano, right? Let the Zarya walk, let her take a beating, Nano, win the fight. Maybe not even. Ah! That's so unfortunate. What do you think here? Is this just a little bit unfortunate, or is this we should have nanoed when she was in, or what?
No, I think this Nano's probably still fine. I mean, maybe this Junkrat dies. There's a nade coming up in one.
Yeah. Oh, huge nade. Huge nade. Only downside here is just we're a little bit close, but as long as we play cover, okay, maybe it's all right.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, we're gonna diff this guy into it. Ah, we thought we had nade. That was all right. Dang, we got it.
Sleep.
We only hit the hard sleeps, I think. And there's exactly what you're talking about. Suzu, then nade.
I think you can even like keep going right and look for more like opportunities to like catch someone out.
Sure. So this is a good moment to ask the question that we have to ask, the awkward question, literally. At what point does the balance between, because going further right would mean that my Zarya might take a little bit of extra damage that I might not be able to heal, but it would open up my offensive opportunities a lot. How do you balance that? Is there even a way to balance that, or is it just something that you have to kind of practice?
Like, I think it's like I'm saying that because like you know where their team is. Like you just saw the Hog Hanzo junk like in front of you.
Right.
So like they're not really putting a lot of pressure. Like if they were like stuffing your team in this choke, I wouldn't do that. But
sure.
Like, just like take the angle and like kind of squeeze the other team.
Sure. So if you know where the enemy team is, your team's not getting hit down the throat, you have an opportunity to take it.
Yeah.
And hey, look at that. You the best coach ever. You just retroactively, oh, huge, let's go. I mean, that's huge right there. There's one fewer person shooting your your Zarya. Unfortunate. Just need to be a little tighter to the cover. But it's still a fight-winning play, would you agree?
Yeah, I wouldn't hard scope in there though.
Okay, so talk to me about that. And this is why they pay you the big bucks, because any jackass can be like, take an angle, make a play, right? But you're sitting out here, you're talking about the micro here. So here, you have a problem with the hard scope. So tell me, what's the deal with the hard scope?
Hanzo, Ana, like all those characters, like if they just like hit like one headshot or sleep on you, like they can really punish you. So like just going for like maybe like 1 or 2 shots and then moving, or like quick scoping.
Right.
Like
because you move faster, right?
Yeah.
Okay, makes sense. So it's like prioritizing instead of hitting the shots now at this point in time, kind of living, and certainly now that we're down our cooldowns.
They've also just used all their cooldowns, so like they're not very strong like in a 1v1 right now.
Rotate high. And this is kind of like, again, what you said, like outside of Hanzo here, this feels really good. Now, my question for you here, what would you need here? Because like, I mean, we see almost literally 5 targets, even if the one's behind the little railing there. What do you need? Because you can't nade everything. So what would you choose?
I think I'd wait like to nade like anything that like I'm sure it'll land on. So like if I see like the Junkrat get low and like try and walk back to cover, then I'll nade, or like their Hanzo like peeks out wide, but like he's like trying to hug the corner, I can nade that.
So you're saying you might not even nade the Junkrat immediately because he might be unpredictable with his movement. But if he takes a little bit of damage, you know that he's going to be going back to cover, so that allows you to lead the nade where it needs to be. Okay.
Yeah, I think like being more like patient here is like would be way better.
Sure, but you're also not like sweating it too hard about who to nade, whether Hanzo, Junkrat, Hog. You're just saying anybody that you can land it on.
Yes, I think like in this position, like if I like nade the Hog, like and like he's like engaged enough, then like our team could follow up. But if I just nade the Junk and like shoot him, like I could kill him myself too.
Sure. Okay, makes sense.
Like that would be a good nade. No, he's using that corner.
We just missed it, but we had the right idea. We hit the shot. We almost hit the nade. We just aimed a little high, and we might still get the kill. Wow, we hit the hard shots. Love it. We seem. I know. I was gonna say we seem to forget about a sleep dart sometimes. It's not the first time. And this is kind of what makes these reviews fun, is because we get to look at things from like a broad perspective of like what you would recommend for all Anas. but then also get a little bit of a slice into like what does Cyber Shark actually need to practice herself as well. So, okay, let's now. What do you think about this position? We're up here to make some plays. What do you think?
This is nice. I like maybe like hiding for a little bit, like not like showing yourself and like looking for like a one shot.
Sure.
Like shoot, nade, shoot.
Sure.
Like here?
Sure. Yeah.
You get this.
Look at that. You called it. Perfect. That's actually brilliant. Now, they made a really important swap, and this, like I said, this is why I use this code. They've gone Doomfist. Does that change how you position at all? Maybe not just the Doomfist, but just dive in general. Some variation of dive.
Maybe a little bit, but I think it's more just like say like knowing your sleep is for the Doomfist, and like if you don't have the sleep, that means you need to play like more safe.
Makes sense.
Or like if you use it on something else.
Makes
But I
sense.
think like there, like after she used her nade and cooldown, she probably should have just dropped back.
True. She was a little naked there. Okay.
Yeah, this is good. I think yeah, that was just good.
Okay,
Good
well, that's
timing.
awesome. That's good. Yeah, I'm a little concerned of Doomfist here, so maybe I would have stayed at the bottom of the stairs and cover here. But man, it's hard to hate on a play like that. So
Man, I
even go
think,
back
like,
to cover, right? Go ahead.
I think like you could have known the Hanzo's there, like so before, like she saw the Hanzo. I think like the idea was probably like to like maybe catch the Doom, like with
Yeah.
sleep from behind, but
Sure. Okay, we're coming up on a nano here. This better be clutch. There's the nano blade. Yeah, huge. All right, let's keep going. Nade placement is an issue. I don't know if you saw that nade there, but easily 5-10 meters shorter than we wanted it to be. It's not the first time that's been an issue. What do you think about her positioning here?
I think she should be like more further back and like scoped in until like she sees the Hanzo.
Sure. Towards like the
Just,
mega,
like,
like right
doing some
behind
more
us.
yeah.
Okay. Fortunate nade gets blocked. I think this fight's probably lost. Okay, so from what you've seen so far, obviously we've talked a lot about a lot of different things. If you're coaching this Ana, what are some ideas that you think are starting to kind of form about what this Ana could be working on? Feels like sometimes the way that they're think of the way that they're placing their cooldowns, maybe how close they're getting to the enemy team. I'm not sure. There was a lot of things we talked about.
I think like the nade, like I like the aggression. I think more like setting yourself up. I think she's like set herself up more for like better cooldown usage. Like I said, like taking the wider angle, like on the hog and stuff, and looking for sleeps on the hooks. Like help her get more value out of the sleep.
Okay.
But I think like reviewing Ana, like you can like kind of like look at like your positions and like your cooldowns like each. So like you can be like, okay, I'm like getting like decent value of my nades. Like I haven't died a lot, but like maybe I could like be positioning better and getting more value of my sleeps, and then you like see like why like each sleep went wrong.
Makes sense. Going like in each cooldown by cooldown basis. Nano seemed to have been relatively okay. Maybe positioning, as you were saying, a little too close here, and some details with how we're using our sleep dart or nade, and even the scoping, right? Now, this is a great little discussion because, Sigma is a cooldown eater. Now, this Sigma is not very good, but I'm sure he's going to... If we've played versus a good Sigma, what would you do here? How would you position versus this?
I actually think that leaving this angle to your DPS is better, and then like playing like on the stairs could be really strong.
So like up here? Up on the left?
Yeah.
Okay, why is that?
Well, one, like you're not going to like be picking their entire team if you want to heal your team. That's pretty good. Like even though they're insane, like they can shield your cooldowns. It's like really awkward for them to do that if you're playing on the high ground and like constantly taking different angles up there.
So you're saying like Sigma has to worry about Hog here, but if I'm here, he has to choose. He can't do both. Whereas if I'm here and Hog is here, he can shield everything at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, you can't really shield him here too, because like this is again like an aggressive angle.
That's
but,
true.
like,
That's true.
I think it's just like you get the same thing from playing on the stairs, but it's just like more safe. You're not like peeking the Hanzo the entire time you want to heal someone.
That's true.
Like
that's true. It feels like a lot of the risk without a lot of the reward.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Okay.
It's like high risk, high reward when you could be just playing low risk, high reward.
True. Makes sense. Good try with the nade there. Again, it kind of comes down to placement, right? It just seems like we're just not quite where we want our nades to be. Nice.
Sweet.
Yeah. I don't know that I would necessarily push that into a Sigma. There's Suzu, there's Shift, there's Recall. So that's like
I would have gone left a long time ago. But
now, why would you have gone left? Besides the
yeah, as soon as I see the shield, like I like recognize like they're like putting a lot of attention there, and like maybe I can find an opportunity on the left side, and also
Right.
like our Brig's like already there with the Hanzo.
Sure. So you don't want to be redundant. You want to find a better angle. Makes sense. So by the time that we go left, we kind of give their Sigma time to also go left, and so it's kind of redundant.
Here, like maybe you could have found like the Hanzo like spamming in the choke and
True,
like just killed him or something.
True. Again, that nade placement is sleep was nice, nade was horrible. But the good news is I don't know how you feel about mechanics. I guess that's actually a good question. Is it's like the way I think about mechanics is just it just comes down to practice, purposeful practice. What do you think is how did you get the mechanics that you have?
I think with regard to abilities, like it's like important to look at like why you're like especially like native sleep, like looking at like why they're missing.
Right.
And like seeing like if you could have like positioned yourself better, like if you're going for something that's just like kind of ambitious.
Sure. Makes sense. So it seems like with us, maybe a little bit too far, a little bit too short. Maybe we're panicking a little bit. That's causing us to rush. So we look for a sleep on the Ana. We don't end up hitting it. And I think we actually missed our nade as well. Yeah. Let me know what your thoughts are on this fight.
Yeah, I feel like he's like playing like so close.
Yeah.
That need to like
so where would you have rotated to here?
Probably be with like the Hanzo, like this entire fit. He's like walking like the sig range for like
yeah. So over here on the left near that cover.
Yeah.
Makes sense. And that maybe allows us to kind of relax, hit more shots.
Like their team like had better pod, like totally should have died there.
Yeah. But also we would have missed out on Nano Hanzo, so I don't know. Alright, we're back on Winston. The UV special. And that's kind of like where you were talking about like the risk versus reward, where the sleep on this Tracer is perfectly reasonable, because if you sleep or you kill her. But it does mean that you're a little exposed here. Now, how do you use nade in this matchup? Do you just nade immediately? Do you save it for when he disengages? Do you go for backline? Like, how do you play this one?
I think here I'd probably nade immediately because like I see that he has like 0 follow-up and I want to like burst him before he gets back to his team.
True.
Or like before the Curie comes in TPs or whatever.
So why would you not play here versus the monkey if they'd stayed?
Like I think better would just be like kind of like being as far back as you can, like on the kind of corner, like in front of the police truck.
Mm-hmm.
Where you can like really heal your hog, but like if they like ult and like your hog like comes back, you can come back and take the high ground.
Right. So you're gonna go here, not because this position is necessarily better right now, but because this position allows you to go quicker to high ground. Up here. Right. Whereas if you're here, you're stuck. There's not a good rotation.
Like kind of like we're like in between where like if your team like ults and pushes, like you can follow up, but it like if they like get like a strong push and like you need a backup, you can too.
So if you're ever not sure if my team's going to push or if we need to kite, finding something that's good enough that gives you both push options and then kite options. Yeah. That's a really good point. Again, so close. Oh dear. Oh, that's why you got to manage your distance.
Yeah.
That seems to be probably our biggest positional mistake is at times we've used cover. We've definitely looked for some angles.
Eventually you just get used to like staying out of like a Zarya's range or a Ram's range or like whatever.
Good spot here. Unfortunate.
Yeah, I don't know about that nade.
Yeah. That's London Spitfire PTSD nade. Now I also want to point out again here, this is where the confirmed nano is fighting us in the tush. Because maybe this fight's lost either way. But milliseconds mattered here, right?
Can you go back and play a little bit slower?
Yeah, sure.
I feel like they were like a little bit like overwhelmed, like on like just shoot the Hanzo or like to heal or what.
Yeah, that's a good point here. So what do you see? We'll go 80% here.
Yes, I think as soon as you see the Hanzo, like I don't even think that like the sleep's like all right, but I think like the best play is just like to go behind this like left wall and like just start healing because you see the Zarya walking up.
Right. So you're saying this little left wall right to our side just totally cut off that Hanzo LOS.
Yeah, I think like going for that sleep, like it's like very like low chance that it hits, and like even if it does hit, like the Zarya is still just beaming down your team.
True.
Where like
True.
I think if you didn't go to sleep, you totally had time to heal the Sojourn.
True. So just a sense of priorities here. Okay. So we'll be able to disengage here. And that
I
nade.
want to see a Nano Brig or a Nano Hog.
Yes. Alright, gonna rotate out right here, I think. Yeah. A lot of panic. A lot of frantic movement, frantic cooldown usage. I don't know if you see the same. What is it?
Save the Hanzo, the nade, it was good.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, I don't really know that, like, you can kind of, like, just play in the room and, like, kill both sides. Like,
so kind of like right where we're at, but just a tiny bit further back?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Well, you got
like,
your
not
wish.
Abandoning, like, either side of your team.
You got your wish.
Like, yeah.
Nano Hog. But yeah, it's finding a sightline to where you can kind of see both sides of things and the enemy team at the same time. All right, let's do it.
Especially on like Ana, BAP, like carry like all these like supports. Like in most fights, you want to like find a position where you can like get value from your cooldowns and like support your like team like all like of your team as much as you can.
Yeah, makes sense. Makes sense. And these nades just miss every time. You know, always a little too far, a little too short.
Can you go back?
Yeah, sure.
That felt weird.
Yeah, we go for a YOLO sleep, and then we nade the car. Thoughts?
I feel like it'd be better to just like look for a couple shots like to help with the Hanzo damage. Like if the Hanzo lands a shot, then he dies.
So you're saying with this Symmetra,
maybe like nade if he gets
just freaking shoot her and nade.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Like I'm like having like 5 seconds left in your cooldown right now.
Right. Feels like a bad time to be down that cooldown. There is the nade we've been missing, and that's the fight, maybe? That was a fat nade. Quickly rotating back to cover. Oh no, we C9'd. Okay, well that's a good one to end it on there. Thoughts on that last fight? I guess we can go back and watch it once more if you'd like.
I think this last thing is like, so now that we're not playing against Hog, like, it's really looking for sleeps that'll like get your teams like kills or like ahead in the fight.
Right. So just finding the sleeps, like, cause it's gonna be a little bit harder to sleep that Zarya, so finding more opportunities to go for, especially when they do things.
Can you go back to the sleep?
Yeah, sure. So like right after this engagement here.
Yeah, so I think like even now what they could do is like before they dropped, like going to the left and like literally just waiting for the drop and then lining up the sleep.
Right. So like up here over here?
Yeah, like where like the Hanzo or Jern is.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Like
Makes sense.
you know they're gonna drop and like if you hit a sleep on like one of them, like your Hog can like hook them in and maybe get a kill.
Sure. So you're saying like this sleep up here, there's just no follow up. Doesn't matter that they're out of the fight.
Yeah, and like they're just like so far that like where like you could be safe while still being like close, just using cover and
Makes
like
sense.
give yourself like a way easier sleep.
Makes sense. All right. Well, that wraps it up. I think you talked about maintaining your distance, having purpose with your cooldowns. Not rushing those nades, adjusting your positioning, even the nano usage. Any final words of advice for this Ana player? We've talked about a lot.
Yeah, I mean, again, just like setting yourself up for good cooldowns. Like last sleep, it's like the same point.
Sure. Okay, well, let's move over to the high level stuff here. Let me get this pulled up here. All right, well, let's take a look here. So this one you chose because no dive. A little bit kind of so you got Enyon, Tree, Vega, Spectra. I feel like that was
Taejong on the account Tree.
Okay.
Yep.
So, looking at their comp priorities, like anything big, because like now we've stepped up the difficulty a little bit. So what are the low hanging fruits for you looking at what you see here?
keep distance, like especially from like the Genji and like Echo. Like you want to like be aware of their positioning. So like
Sure.
I don't want to let the Genji like Doom like an Echo like set up like a 3-man like dive from all the angles. Like I want to keep my distance, poke them out. 'Cause, like even like if I do sleep the Doom, like if like they're like all there and they can Suzu, like I'll still probably die.
Sure. Makes sense. Makes sense. There's not even a Hanzo here really to worry about for poking you out, right? So it's a lot of sniper Ana, a lot of playmaking Ana.
Yeah, so again, like I'm like looking for like shots and echoes. Like if I get her low and she can engage, like that's like really good.
Sure. So you're thinking like the prevention, you know, if I can catch her when she's weak before she even engages here. So is this freaking you got rolled out on. And this is the Ana skin that gets your approval then.
Yep.
Definitely not real tree. It's funny how much more aggressively you play when you see those Doom Echo targets off the battlefield.
Yeah.
Immediately,
it's like I see the Doom usage, like shift punch, like all he has is counter, like not scary at all.
Right. So it's like you're not just saying I keep distance because they're on their comp. You're like I'm keep distance because they're on this comp and they have CDs, right? If they don't have CDs, I like them respect.
So again, just like playing the corner close.
Yeah.
Like looking for opportunities, but not like staying too long.
Right. So you're and your Kiriko are kind of ping-ponging about who to take care of. Ooh, okay. That did not last long. Nice sleep dart. Am I going to see a nano? I was going to say, yeah. Now that kind of goes back to what you were saying with the previous VOD, where it's like they're in, you know, feels like the Echo's feeding. No, wait, she's nanoed.
Yeah.
Is that kind of like the way that you look at this? Because if you look at the comp, there's so many people to nano in your comp, so you're not like waiting for that nano blade. You're just waiting for someone to go in aggressive and deserve it. Is that accurate?
Yeah. Like
okay.
Can you go back a little bit?
Yeah, sure.
Like also like our Echo like hasn't shifted yet, so like it's
true.
like not like our Genji like you nano a Genji that doesn't have dash or like without jump like.
True.
He's like already close to their team, so like with shift and like sticky's like for sure like has a good chance of like killing them.
Makes sense. She has that mobility to she's not only aggressive, but she has the cooldown to continue to aggress.
Yeah, and like outplay.
He must track sleep dart. That was a lot of respect.
Yeah, no cooldown. Doom use shift and punch, so I can just walk at him.
Right.
Wait for the counter to come out.
Total chaos. Overwatch 2 moment. Now you've seen him use the flex, so obviously it's you, so you're gonna hit that. Wow, well done. It felt like that. Yeah, it felt like in many ways this fight felt a little bit less chaotic for you than it did for everybody else. And it kind of leans into what you're saying with the Platinum Ana, where, you know, once this engage happens here, you're already, like, even after the sleep dart, they pop Kitsune, they pop Dumal, you start to back out, just creating a little bit of distance, you know? Because if you look at this here, if you're in Spectra's position here, you die. Or this fight feels total chaos. But just 10 meters of distance here is the difference between you being able to like actually hit a couple of shots, being able to relax and hit the sleep dart, not having to worry about Kitsune, and even when the Doomfist comes to follow up, he can't even reach you. So it feels like you said, this distance management that our Platinum Ana was missing is really the difference between winning and losing this fight in many ways. Would you agree?
Yeah, I think like it's like important to, especially against the dive, but like maybe like any comp, just like to know like how close your threats are to you and like they can go on you.
Right.
And like the only thing I have to watch out for this window is like maybe a sleep and like echo stickies.
Right.
As long as I'm like somewhat aware of that echo, I'll be fine.
Now this is an interesting sleep dart because this is one of the things where he has not committed, but you still hit the sleep dart because it's pretty guaranteed. Is this to force his CDs to put him on the back foot? Do you think that maybe my Echo can sticky him and
pretty
buy
much
time?
I like to feel like he's already like kind of half. I think it'll like I like feel that like it'll land. Where like if it misses, like it's not like the end of the world because they're still coming back from spawn.
Right, and you could even see it
back for a little bit.
His HP still is not. He's still low. He's still low from that sleep dart. So there's really no danger.
But maybe
Oh,
I'm
really?
just...
Yeah, I mean, he's still not full, and then now he's full, and now you have sleep dart again. Now it's also interesting here that you go for the nade, not the sleep dart. Is that because you didn't feel like I needed to sleep here? He's gonna die either way.
I think at first I thought that like maybe he'd like drop back out the window, and then like after I got the nade, like I figured like that yeah he'd probably die, and then especially once like the Kiriko came, I wanted to like save it for after.
That makes sense. Makes sense. Again, we're down a few, or up a few. My team is pushing forward. And this is like a good lesson for all the ranked players, especially in low ranks. It's like, if your teammate does something like this, you are willing to walk with them, right? Still trying to keep it a little bit of your distance, but you're not like hard holding that high ground and yelling at your team in team chat to group up, right?
Yeah, I feel like it might look like I'm playing I'm playing aggressive, but I feel like I actually haven't been like I've been playing this like pretty passively. But it's like more about like the timing.
Sure. So when you do walk forward, it's only because you're safe, people are dead, people have used cooldowns, and so on. And you can see you
punch into the window, so I look main to see if like I can like get an opportunity.
Sure, and you can see like you're already kind of leaning backwards, like maintaining that range.
Yeah. I'm thinking, yeah, Doom's just gonna shift around the corner.
I see this is I think the big difference here. You know, it's like there's such a big difference between, you know, maybe it doesn't win you guys this fight, but there's such a big difference between Dante committing cooldowns, both cooldowns here, and he doesn't hit you with either one. Now he's on top of you, but he hasn't hit you with either one, right? As opposed to where if you're even a little bit further up, you're gonna get punched, you're gonna get stunned, you're gonna feed him HP, he's gonna hit some shots and so on. So it's like it feels like the constant battle of you like managing your range just a little bit, whilst trying not to take yourself out of the fight entirely.
It's like a lot of it's like anticipating what like's about to come. Like I know like as soon as like that person dies, like Bonnie's gonna shift in and look for more kills and
right. That makes sense. Here again, it feels like you have total control of everything on your screen. You know, I can see everything, I can shoot everything. I'm far away with cover, but still contributing. Again, somebody's engaged aggressively. Unano as a result. Full support pocket. Oof, that's crazy. Dante is not having a good time.
And there's no healing to do. Like it's always gonna like stack damage on someone.
Yeah. I think this is it here. Yeah. That's a good hold. Okay, well, let's you got time to move on to the dive on?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, let's take a look here. So this one is going to be a little bit trickier because, you know, we had some Doom moments, right? But now we have more than just Doom. Is this actually J3?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're totally safe then. J3 Tracer will keep you safe. Definitely won't hit a pulse bomb. Okay, now this is an interesting rollout and definitely not something that most folks in ranked replicate or really would. Well, I mean, you could replicate this. So you talk to us. Why are you rolling out here and not, you know, main or going towards statue? What is it about this position that you like?
Tracer can't get on me easily. I can't really like. It's like hard for like a lot of them like to get on me, especially like without like using their cooldowns first.
Sure.
And like even more so like if they were like on a Lucio Queen comp or like an Orisa comp or Ram comp, like they would have like be like so much harder for me to like look for like value for my cooldowns from main, like from the low ground.
And this might be something that is even replicable in Platinum, because if you look back to where you were before you die here, if your team plays main, you can still support them from here, and then you can also still support them from here, and then it's also crucially like you have a pretty nice sight line onto backline. Maybe something to try.
You say playing from main?
Well, I'm saying like this position in general might be something that might be replicable even outside of like a top 500 lobby.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so I guess this is definitely like one of those situations where it's like, all right, so how on earth do you retake this? Like this feels like it's just a tough one.
I think you can like. I don't really like walking out top right, especially if it were a Winston mirror, because like the bubble can kind of just like zone you super hard and
right.
tracers can hide in the corners and pull spawns, and they can like set up really easily with nade and stuff. And like also just like it's hard for the rest of your team to get in if you go top right.
Right. Right.
After first fight, I don't usually like that position much. But
Okay. Okay. This one gives you a little bit more space to work with, at least to start.
yeah, just gives my team like more like healing.
Makes sense.
Walk up with.
He tried. You don't even turn around. I mean, you trust your break here. You also hit the nade as well, but that is pretty funny.
Yeah, I see my Winston taking aggro, and I'm like in an Inspire like nade range. Like
yeah, in many ways, nade for recall is also a pretty good trade. I don't know how you feel about that, but okay.
Yeah, it depends. I think.
And yours, and we noticed this in the previous VOD, but you are really looking for that block, for that window to sleep dart.
Yeah.
Is that on purpose?
Yeah, I mean, unless like, because like I know like Dante's like, or like any like good Doom like is always like gonna be like thinking about the sleep.
Yeah.
And like when you have like your punch and like shift, like it's really easy to like kind of bait it or just like use all that mobility to dodge it.
Makes sense.
So, like,
makes sense.
As soon as like I see him use the cooldowns like 10 seconds ago, like I'm already like walking up looking for an opportunity to get value out of it.
Now that's an interesting one because this is where like I think a lot of Anas would really struggle to know exactly what to do here because we talk about managing your range, landing cooldowns. How do you marry those two? Here it's kind of funny because you see Doom use a cooldown. You hear your Winston going
like tracer like set up.
And, yeah, right over here. So then you go and you nade on backline, but then your first response is immediately to back up. So it's like I see the Doom use a cooldown. I run forward to use my cooldown. I get my big nade value, and then I run away immediately, kind of knowing that Doomfist comes in.
Well, it's really mainly about the Sojourn, but also like after I use my cooldown, like I'm like generally on Ana, especially against dive, like if you use a cooldown, you want to like play safe.
Right.
Until the end again.
Makes sense. So when you say mainly about the Sojourn, you're saying like I don't want to peek rail too long.
Yeah, like it's like instantly go behind the wall, but also when you use your cooldowns on Ana, like you're like way more vulnerable than when you have them.
Right. And again, dynamically positioning here. Team pushes up, you walk forward. Team backs up, you back up. Never like I stay here, you guys have to play around me. My team wants to walk, you gotta walk.
Yeah. Like if they're like tracers like already set up behind us and like shooting me and like their Doom like has all their cooldowns, I probably don't look for that play.
Thinking about Nano on this rotation here, I assume?
Yeah, look for Nano Drain.
Oh really?
So I'm trying to like keep LOS of him.
The wub dub. This is crazy. The little statue jump. That's great. But it's funny. It's like one of those things where it's like, you know, you're managing your distance, you're playing cover, and in many ways, like just even doing little things like the little jumps and the moves, it makes you hard to track. It's hard to kind of nail you down. It's hard to get an angle on you as Tracer. It's hard to land a cooldown and use Doomfist.
But also, like, I think like something that's like important to take away from that fight is like the first fight, like I'm like playing like just on point, like trying not peek main at all. And that fight, I'm like just standing on the stairs and they're just like reacting to like how your opponent's positioning.
Right, because the enemy team was all in this like crappy little room right here, and not only that, but you'd also nano engage. So there's a lot of resources kind of being dumped on that Winston, and so you're just playing with a little bit of ego at that point.
Yeah, I just know like the entire team's rotating bottom right, so like they have like no pressure like in like main and like they're like giving up that space.
Makes sense, because if you think about what actually killed you when you rotated top or on main, it was the Sojourn rail, right? But that Sojourn obviously is not going to be thinking about railing you when she has a nano monkey in her face. To be fair, you know, Mace Face is still the greatest support of all time. So, oof, that sleep dart was so close.
Actually, can't believe I missed.
Like, yeah, that's a There's no way! I did not see this in the recording. J3 hits a pulse bomb and probably dies to it. He got a 3K. That's why they call him J3. That's crazy. Now this next one's interesting, and I think this is the one that everybody hates in ranked because it's like everybody just vomits stuff out of the choke. And so there's a lot of like, you know, it's easy for the Ana to hit nades in here, but is this just you park yourself in this choke and you stay here until an opportunity hits? Like, how do you play this fight here?
It depends on what you're playing against. Like, I don't think you really want to stay here, like, especially like, against like a Junk or like a Pharah.
So would you rotate down towards the Mega below or go more towards open space?
Yeah, like more like towards like the stairs, and like
Got it.
if they give you the space, then like you can walk towards like above the point. But like
Makes sense.
initially, that's like a little bit dangerous usually.
Okay.
Like it also
Makes
depends
sense.
like a lot on like a lot of different comps. Like if we didn't get TP, we're probably stuck in this choke.
True. That's something to point out. Yeah, that's true.
Like if they're like on a Lucio comp and like they like stuff us in the choke, we're not walking out.
True. Makes sense. Okay. So you're nade and you are gone. You're out. There's Suzu.
Yeah.
Oh, sleep dart off at the block again though. And now it feels like you have space, just a little bit of space.
Yeah.
And you're rotating to create even more space, actually, towards this next corner. This is, I think, a really good rotation for even ranked Anas to know. Sightlines here are amazing. You're ready if they rotate main. Feels really good. Huge nade. Huge shot. And again, it feels like when you are just up on top smoking a cigar, this is where Ana feels amazing, right?
Yeah.
When you're able to position yourself with a little bit of distance, cover, good vision, the game feels so very, very easy.
I mean, maybe there's like something you learned from like the first fight or like earlier, like walking out the choke. Can I go back?
Yeah, sure.
Like when I use like when I'm playing on the stairs, like, again, it's like I use my nade, I use my sleep. Like I'm just kind of like chilling here for a little bit. Like, and I wait till like I see like good opportunity to like walk up and rotate.
Right. So you're only rotating because you're like, hey, my Winston is creating that pressure that then allows me to go from point A to point B. If you had tried to do that same rotation now, you would have died.
Yeah. And then like on these stairs, like even like if I have no cooldowns, like I'm like completely fine. But like if I like try and walk out and I get like Sojourn body shot and like Doom goes on me and Tracer goes on me, I can die.
Yeah, that makes total sense.
There's like zero way I can die from the stairs, even with no cooldowns.
And I think that's why sometimes it can be so hard to replicate the pros in terms of some of the positions that they take, because it's like, this rotation we just talked about being a great ranked rotation, but it's only a great ranked rotation if you do it at the right time and for the right reasons. And so I think that's where it's it's important to kind of add an asterisk where it's a great position if you know when to get there.
If I was a little bit later, maybe the Jern like shoots me on the rotate.
Right. That makes total sense. Another huge nade. But unfortunate there. And again, this is kind of like one of those, because of where they're at, I'm going to nano them.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Oh, a little freeze here on VLC. Okay. Huge. Ha! Diff. I assume that was a translocator screw up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like knew like they were just gonna be hard on her. And that maybe
yeah. Now, is this a rotation away from the Sojourn?
Oh, I think so. Can you go back?
Yeah. Because I think you hear a slide up top post Kitsune.
Point or just I think it was more just like to get an angle on our point, like without like being exposed to the
Right. Makes sense. Much better sightline.
So yeah, like this is like way more safe than out. If I was at top trying to heal the monkey.
I mean, this is a public service announcement for cover here. Like you would have died 75 times over if you had not had this little pillar here on our left and this little corner on the right.
Yeah, still playing up top trying to heal the monkey.
Right. So it's like every dynamic rotation that you do, whether it's pushing up or backing up, it's all about finding that cover, because it's like she has rail, you find cover. It's a huge nade. And again, distance management. Like it must feel so frustrating for Dante to be like, I can never go for this guy. Like if I go for him, I have to use every single cooldown in my ultimate, right? No comment on that sleep dart, I assume.
Yeah, I think the screen froze a little bit for me, so I'm glad.
Yeah, that was as a replay viewer glitch. Yeah. You actually hit it. I don't know what happened. And I assume you're just thinking nano, yeah. And again, it's positioning. It feels like that Winston is in such a good spot. I tell you what, J3, man, this guy is must be abusing some sort of drug. I don't know. Now, this is a weird swap because you look at this and you're like, all right, the dive threat is gone. Obviously, there is Tracer, and J3's been smoking the kush, so he's hitting all the pulse bombs here. So it can't be like super disrespectful. But do you change at all how you position and how you play?
Yes, like here I'm like not like share at all. I'm like the only reason I'm hiding like is to like surprise them with a nade, like not like let their like Orisa know where like my positioners are like their BAP.
Right. Right. Okay. And because especially with the high ground, like feels like
Also,
nothing can top you up here.
and also they just swapped off Kiriko, so like the only thing they have
true.
made is like Lamb.
True. That's a great point. Oh my days, this nade. This is like if you're not frothing at the mouth here.
Yeah. So I'm like, waiting,
it's so disciplined too, because you want them to commit to the rotation, right?
Yeah.
Right. And there
There's
it is.
No spin.
Yeah, and that's it. That's game. And they just couldn't touch you, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, and that should be, I mean, really, this is just cleanup here. Okay. All right. Now, this is the challenging one. We talked about a little bit about each map here. And maybe this is becoming more of a Nepal review than anything else. But I think it's important. You know, I think you look at their comp, they've got full speed. They're going to run you down if they can get the opportunity to. There's a lot of nice long sight lines, but that can also be a two-edged sword, even with something like the Kiriko or the Ashe. So you're rolling out here. What are you thinking?
I need to watch out for Jern shot, and like also like I can't play too far back because then they'll take the map. But I also like can't like play too close because they're like Queen Kiri Lucio comp.
Right.
So I kind of like want to like be pressuring them as much as I can without like feeding.
Right. I think that if that could put a big fat sticker onto the entire discussion that we've had, even going back to the plat bot, it's been range management, not being too far back, not being too far forward, almost more than cover, really. So, yeah, it's interesting.
It's a lot of comps for sure.
Yeah, makes total sense. So you're just playing around rail, fishing for sleep dart. And that kind of goes like with one of the sleep darts where you're saying earlier, whereas if that sleep dart hits, that target dies because of where the position. And then again, we walk forward, you walk forward. Where's my next sight line? Where's my next cover? Nice nade. There's Suzu. And again, cover. No surprises from main, no surprises from the flank, always cover. Nice shot. Now, in the back of your mind, you're thinking, you know, where's that queen? Where's that Lucio? Without totally abandoning your monkey.
Yeah.
Woohoo! That was a really nice nade. That's unfortunate, though. Feels like you played this fight pretty well. You kind of have to sit on your sleep dart because there's always that threat of the queen Lucio. Did you see anything major that you maybe missed opportunities or missed shots or just team troll GG?
I think I'm not like looking for a sleep on the queen as much as like looking for a sleep that can hit, especially against this comp. Like if I keep my distance from queen, I'm not like really scared of her. I'm just like looking for sleeps that like
I
think will land and like can get us some like advantage.
So maybe if you're nitpicking here, obviously the Winston's critical, but if you'd had the opportunity, you see queen over here, you don't need to see
I might
queen if she's over there.
As walking to the monkey.
Right. That makes sense. So nade and then just sleep immediately.
Yeah,
and maybe even fish.
Maybe like if I slept,
maybe even here
you would have died faster. So
right, true. But even maybe like a sleep here, like because obviously like you know like they're still far away, so maybe a sleep ending point. Maybe somebody follows up. I don't know. Okay, let's keep going here. Good news is nano soon. Bad news is this choke is a butt to break. Do you just ever like 3, 2, 1 walk out through nade and just run away?
Not really like 3, 2, 1, but like just like looking for like a chance, like get a nade off without just dying.
Right.
At.
And nano's gonna help this a lot because it's gonna create that chaos that we were talking about 2 rounds ago, where it's like, you know, you even combo them. So the Suzu actually only hits 1, so unfortunately it had to use both because I think they hit a boop. But you get cap of it, you get space off of it. Sleep dart for that. Maybe your Winston lives? I think he got pulled. Now, this screams you're going to ego J3. Am I wrong?
No, you're right.
Okay. Now, why are you doing this? I think for the general public here.
We're down 1, but we still have like a lot of like angles in space. So I think fight's like still winnable. Like especially if like I like manage to like get a 1 shot on like a DPS of like shoot nade shoot. So that's kind of what I'm looking for.
Makes sense.
Like,
so you're at a disadvantage.
I'm, like, hiding on this. Yeah, like, even when I'm hiding on this left side, I'm like hoping that they'll walk up more so like I can get a chance to get a kill.
Makes total sense. Your brig had to stall card or tried to stall card, I say. Point a little bit. Yeah. But you like you know that you're in a situation. Even here, you're like, you know, something's got to happen, right? So if I die, it's whatever.
If I hide, we just lose anyway. So.
Right, exactly. So that's good to remember. Death is not the end of the world. Well, at least in Overwatch terms. I'm not going to get good sleep value anytime in the next 10, 12 seconds. Is that the decision there?
I just saw a lot of people lining up, and like if like one
Right.
of them gets left, like it could be pretty
Hole.
easy to follow up on.
Makes sense. But you're still maintaining your distance here. Is that an ult track? Because they're gonna have queen.
No, I think just like there's no like reason for me to like get closer here.
Makes sense.
Yeah. Like as we go for the rally, I think.
Wow, that was a lot of HP damage. Oh no. Gorilla the goat.
Comes around for more.
No. No. They got the trash. Come on. Nice. Pest exterminated. All right. So Nano Blade, I assume here. Is that the play?
Yup.
There's Suzu, nasty choke. And because they've used Suzu, because you hit such a big nade, and in many ways, you're not even in a rush. You know, they fully disengage. Okay, screw it. You know, let them waste more time off the clock, right? You're still going to Nano Blade.
Yeah.
Bonk. Oh, no. Freaking Gorilla, man.
I think that's pretty well played.
I think so too. I mean, that's definitely one of those like what do they call Chris used to always call them lose cons, you know, or I would call them chaos fights, where it's like you know you're going to lose the Nano Blade, so you might as well just trade backlines, right? So, and that's exactly what they do. So that was a good play. Again, cover.
They're constantly on the stairs where I can like hide from left and right.
Yeah. Now, does that defensive nade just because she's crit? I'm not going to have a good angle. I'm concerned she might get shot by J3.
Can I see it again?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I think I thought their like team was gonna walk up soon and like maybe
Makes
like
sense.
she'd like hide on the left side from me.
Makes sense.
I
Makes
don't want her
sense.
to be like too low.
Yeah. Deflect. He's cooked. Nice sleep dart. That's one hit missing the shot, isn't it? Trying to save Nate, I assume.
Yeah.
Yeah, makes sense. Well, it doesn't matter. Justice is served. The good guys win. And that's that. Well, coaching yourself here. I guess same kind of question as the last round. Things that you did well, things that you could have done better. Maybe some takeaways from the folks in the back.
I could have like better played against like more respecting the Sojourn in the first round.
Yeah.
And also like keeping a little bit of distance between me and the Brig.
Sure.
Those things I could have done a little bit better.
Now between you and your own Brig.
Yeah.
Now that's a new concept for most folks in chat. So why would you ever want to split from your Brig or keep a little bit of distance?
Double doom shifted, like double punch, double monkey zap, double ram punch, everything like
makes sense.
You want like one person like to like not be getting stunned and like able to carry the other.
Sure. So close enough to get Inspire, close enough to get armor packs, close enough to get on a pocket, but not so close that one thing hits both.
Yep.
Makes sense. Makes total sense. That's a really good point, actually. Okay. Anything else to add here? We talked about a lot. Feels odd to say final words, but you know. Any last words, UV?
No, not really.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, I really appreciate your time. This is something, obviously, it's been a long time coming, to say the least, but I really appreciate your time as always. And if anyone wants to give you a follow on Twitch, mind if I link your Twitch in my Twitch? Does that work for you? Any other
Ultraviolet OW.
Got it. Any other socials that you would like to plug as well? YouTube, Twitter, Instagram?
No, they're all on my Twitch.
All right, sounds good. Well, y'all go give Ultraviolet a follow. Mate, I really appreciate your time and good luck with a Winthrop and everything else you may pursue, coaching, content, all that kind of stuff.
All right, thank you.
All right, cheers, mate. You're very welcome, man. Have a good night. Cheers.